The big idea for week 6 is one of the most famous and vexing ideas in the history of moral philosophy. It is Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative, which showcases rationality as the final factor. Categorical imperatives are really the same as what we've been calling absolute oughts. They're maxims, that is, guidelines or principles for action. They're commanded by reason. They're imperative. And there are no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. They are categorical. They apply universally to all humankind at all times, no exceptions. Don't lie. As absolute oughts, Kant contrasts them with instrumental oughts, which, recall, you follow in order to achieve some personal preference. Drink water if you're thirsty. You do that if you're thirsty, but you do your moral duty just because you ought to do it. If you do it because you feel like it, that's not good enough. You must do it because reason tells you to. How does reason do this? Kant gives us a meta-maxim that enables us to generate these practical maxims. It's called the uppercase categorical imperative, and it goes like this. Act only according to a maxim which you could rationally make into a universal law. It seems simple. Consider what you're about to do. Say you're about to tell a lie. Ask yourself, could I rationally make it a law that all humans must lie at all times? Clearly not, since people could never be trusted and communication would become impossible. But I could surely make it a law that people never lie. So, using my meta-maxim, I generate a lowercase categorical imperative, a practical maxim, don't lie. And so I change my mind, I apply the maxim, and I don't lie. All I needed was reason. There's one crippling problem with this ingenious system. It assumes that there is exactly one maxim for every action. But there are indefinitely many. Some of them seem equally morally apt, like save innocent lives, or don't hurt people's feelings. But I may need to lie to save someone's life, or to avoid hurting your feelings. So which maxim do I choose? There are also silly maxims that work perfectly well, like never lie when speaking in English. I could make that a universal law, and worry later about the other languages, but how could the language be even morally relevant? Then there are tempting but clearly wrong maxims like always obey the law. That seems to be a great maxim to follow when testifying under oath. But on reflection, I can't universalize it, since it would force us all to obey unjust laws that, for example, institutionalize misogyny and racism. That means I would be applying the wrong maxim. Even if my testimony in court is honest and even courageous, on Kant's theory, it would be without moral worth. You may have seen the TV comedy series The Good Place, about a woman who dies and is mistakenly sent to heaven. She strives to make herself worthy before anybody finds out, and studies moral philosophy to better understand how to be good. The show's creator and writer, Michael Schur, had to learn a lot about moral philosophy and decided to write a book about it. Here's his frustrated take on Kant. The formulation of these stupid maxims he wants us to devise through pure reason can be damn near impossible. To me, a key part of any ethical system has to be that it can actually work in real life. Say no more. Kant does offer a variation on his meta-maxim, the human imperative. It seems simpler. Treat every human being, including yourself, as an end, and not merely as a means to an end. There's obviously something profoundly right about this maxim, but it's not really much of an improvement from an operational point of view. Is it more respectful of humans for me to tell the truth, or to save innocent lives, or not to hurt their feelings? The same paralysis sets in. In fact, it seems to take us little beyond the starting point of the whole course. If I'm asking you on day one how I shall live as a useful member of humankind, That suggests that I'm already seeking guidance for how to treat humans properly. Kant leaves us still in search of guidance. The one clear-cut operational principle for Kant is that when we act morally, we must act strictly out of commitment to our duty. This makes our behavior predictable and thus habitual, and thus it builds character. But here's my question. If you're in the hospital, which visitor are you happiest to see? Amanda Kant, who says, "I didn't really want to come here, but I considered it my duty." Or Dana Hume, who says, "I was worried and I couldn't wait to see you and let you know how much I care." Or Jamie Bentham, who says, "I knew it would bring me so much pleasure to bring you pleasure." As for me, I would pretend to be asleep when Kant arrived, but would welcome Hume and Bentham with open arms. That indicates that acting from genuine fellow feeling can be a powerful means of showing human respect to me as an end. But when Amanda Kant visits me in the hospital, she makes me feel like I am, well, her means for carrying out her duty. Kant has gotten into trouble because he's taken a good idea that rationality is a distinctive and valuable element of humanity, and he's tried to make it do everything. The only solution is to either find another final factor or to acknowledge that we're stuck with pluralism, picking and choosing among the many relevant factors as we figure out how to live our lives. This is philosophy, so we're always relying upon reason, but within reason. And that is the big idea for week 6.